Anyway, good evening. Can I begin by saying what a pleasure it is and a privilege to be standing before you this evening as we celebrate the Biocomposite Centre 25th anniversary. And thank you, Rob, for the invitation. There are so many eminent experts in the room this evening. I have to say, I wonder why I was asked. In fact, looking around, I'm probably the only person in the room I don't recognise. Seriously though, Rob's asked me along tonight just to talk a little bit about the construction industry and the opportunities that brings for you. And I've got to tell you, it's a light relief for me to be here this evening. I've spent the last 96 hours dealing with a serious fire at Nottingham University, unfortunately in a glulam building. So to be here away from the Health and Safety Executive, the Chief Fire Officers, the Association of British Insurers and so on, is a great relief. But I am aware that I am between you and your dinner. So I won't be speaking for too long, you'll be pleased to know. For my own part, you might wonder why I've been asked here. I've been in the UK construction industry for 37 years. My formative years were spent with an organisation called CRH. It's a multi-discipline manufacturing group based in Dublin. In England and the UK, it's things like Ibstock Brick, Forticrete Block, Harris Fencing. When I left in 2005, they were turning over circa £8 billion. So a big organisation, the second largest manufacturing organisation in the UK. My roles within CRH were always sales and marketing and business development. But in 1998, some of you who have an affiliation to the construction industry may remember the Egan report, Rethinking Construction. And that was to change all our lives in construction, and mine in particular, in terms of my career development. Because I moved into things like business improvement, change management, best practice. And that's where I've been ever since. I was a volunteer member of an organisation called Constructing Excellence, but in 2006 I left to join them full time and was responsible for everything, if you like, industry facing when it came to the change agenda. And what we were trying to do is deliver a more collaborative, integrated culture into something which is very adversarial by nature. We were doing okay. We had some small pockets of success until in 2008, and then of course the wheels came off and everyone reverted to type. But we're now sort of picking up that agenda again, and I'm pleased to say that in association with my 4 days a week that I spend as Chief Executive of the Structural Timber Association, I do 1 day a week still with Constructing Excellence as Chief Executive in the Southwest. But Rob's asked me to talk about the main drivers in the construction industry at the moment. I would think probably the first, and I'm very pleased this is the case, is that off-site construction is very much back on the agenda. In February last year, the government issued an off-site housing review. Now, typical government, it stayed on the shelf until May of this year, but hey-ho, there's an election in the offing, so the reports come off the shelf, and we had a meeting with the Housing Minister, or the then Housing Minister, Chris Hopkins, not long ago. It was the day of the reshuffle. And at 11 o'clock, we were ushered into this room, and Chris was there chairing the meeting. He did say to us that by 12 o'clock I might not be chairing the meeting. He was still there at midday, but the next day he'd gone. So we've now got Brandon Lewis, who is our Minister for Housing. And I was with the Chief Fire Officers yesterday, and he used to be the Fire Minister. And they said to me, good luck. So I'm meeting him for the first time on the 11th of November. However, we should be thankful for small mercies. I think the government have realised that housing is a big agenda topic for the election. And Brandon Lewis is a Cabinet Minister, whereas his predecessor, Chris Hopkins, wasn't. So there's no doubt, ladies and gents, that housing is very much a hot topic on the agenda, which is good for us. The second thing I'd like to mention about this report, and I'm going to read this if I may, because there's some stuff in here which I think is particularly pertinent to you tonight. So whilst the government might create the climate for new products, it's the role of the industry to respond with suitable market offerings. Industry must therefore be aware of the market it's likely to develop between now and 2020 and must be ready to explore new ways of delivering more homes. There's plenty of room for technological and business model innovation. And with new players potentially interested in entering the market, there could be rapid change in the dynamics of delivery. Now, isn't that where you come in? I was particularly interested to read about your Vice Chancellor, John Hughes, Professor John Hughes, on the website. As it says that John has a strong reputation for working closely with industry in the commercialisation of research, and that he has a large number of successful research collaborations with prestigious innovations. Now, isn't that exactly what we need? Isn't it imperative that the construction industry's supply chain understands its customer needs and innovates on their behalf? So I commend your thoughts, and I think you're in for an interesting few years ahead. Interestingly, the report has persuaded a lot of private house developers to take another look at off-site construction. That, along with the shortage of bricks and blocks. And we're helping people like Barratt Developments who have made a strategic decision to move from currently 3% off-site to around 25 to 33% off-site. So for somebody in our industry, that's a very exciting move. So off-site is very much back on the agenda. So what else is on the agenda? What else is occupying the minds of the great and the good? I'm sure you're all involved in some way, or you know of the Zero Carbon Hub. They've just delivered a document closing the gap between design and as-built performance. And again, there's things in here which I think are particularly relevant, so I'm going to read them if I may. I was at the launch of this document back in July, and it certainly had the ear and the interests of government ministers, and they were lining up to be associated with it. So we're delighted, because the Zero Carbon Hub agenda is very similar to our own. But there were just one or two recommendations I thought were relevant for this evening, and that is, first of all, for industry to undertake the research and development necessary to create innovative testing, measurement and assessment techniques, and it goes on. And also to support further evidence gathering in terms of processes, and then offer a coordinated feedback to ensure accelerated continual improvement across all sectors of the industry. So I think it's playing into your hands in terms of people that are involved in research and development, because it's very much back on the government agenda. And the government, for example, within the report, it suggested that they need to signal their long-term intent by funding research and development into testing, measurement, and so on. So the platform is there. It's about seeking the opportunity. Zero Carbon Hub very much has the ear of government and pretty much dictates the low carbon agenda, certainly when it comes to construction. And they've got other projects now they're looking at. For example, the next one on the horizon is one looking at overheating. Link this with Horizon 2020, of course, and here it states that the bioeconomy offers Europe a unique opportunity to address complex interconnected challenges whilst achieving economic growth. So it can assist Europe in making the transition to a more resource-efficient society that relies more strongly on renewable biological resources to satisfy consumer needs, industry demand, and tackle climate change. So this research and innovation funds gives a tremendous opportunity to companies within, certainly my sector, SIPs, modular construction, panel manufacturers, and all their supply chains. They should and could seek funding to stimulate the investment. And who better to join forces with than Bangor University? And I'm not on commission, am I? No. You can't go to many construction industry events at the moment without the name BIM, or the acronym BIM. Has anyone heard of BIM? B-I-M, Building Information Modelling. It's everywhere you go in construction. I've put some leaflets on your tables because for my sins, the Department of Business Innovation and Skills asked me to chair something called BIM for Housing. BIM for Housing is an organisation that's going to show the benefits of BIM to a sector that is about 3 years behind the curve. The rest of construction are already doing it. What we're failing to understand is that by 2016, all government-funded projects need to be BIM compliant. So we've got a way to go. Interestingly, the construction industry being technical people, when we talk about BIM, we talk about software and all this sort of stuff and the technical side of it. In fact, it's all about collaborative working. It's all about a culture. And this is where I think my link with constructing excellence comes in very well. Another major topic that is on everyone's lips at the moment is that of fair payments. Does it affect you, fair payments? Maybe not. It certainly affects my members. Some of my members are going into liquidation on the back of it, but I'm delighted to say that fair payments, a new fair payments charter, which the government have released recently over Easter, and that we're all signed up to that. But the main talking point at the moment is one of skills shortages. I don't know whether you're suffering from that, but in the construction industry 18 months ago, if I asked my members what's their main concern, it's where's the next order coming from. Now it's where's the next erector coming from, where's the next engineer coming from, where's the next surveyor coming from. There's just a massive shortage of skills. Over the last 5 or 6 years, we've probably lost about 500,000 people in the UK construction industry. And getting those people back is difficult. It's difficult because we don't present ourselves in a very good way. So when graduates go to university, they don't tend to choose construction as an industry of choice. Why should they? We don't treat our people very well. We don't market ourselves very well. We don't sell ourselves very well. And so my belief is that the UK construction industry needs to use this as an opportunity to take best practice from other sectors. And with my Constructing Excellence hat on at the moment, I'm working with some people from the media, radio, TV, who do communication for a living. If they don't communicate, they don't have a job. So I'm trying to sort of, in a very small way, cascade that sort of best practice into us. However, 10 minutes you said, wasn't it? I realise I'm between you and your dinner. And enough of the UK construction industry. What about the organisation that's celebrating its 25th anniversary, the Biocompetence Centre here at University, it's easy for you to say, at the University of Bangor. I was reading an old press release from the Daily Telegraph of Saturday, the 9th of August, 1997, when Rob asked me to come here, in which John Hutchison wrote about work being carried out by Dr. James Bolton, your founder, of course, but unfortunately can't be with us this evening. It says here, scientists at Bangor University Biocompetence Centre, I'll say it right by the end of the evening. I knew I shouldn't have had that second glass of champagne. I didn't realise I was going to be speaking. I was up to the end of the dinner. But it says they've spent 8 years working on ways to make new composite materials from legally grown cannabis plants. Now, you can imagine how eager I was to come here tonight and find out what the evening will do as it unfolds, until I read on. You will need to roll a joint the size of a telegraph pole to get high on it. Reading further, I drive a Mercedes, by the way, and I was particularly interested to read that they're using similar products in their E-Class range, and that's exactly what I drive. So now I know why I enjoy driving so much. In what little spare time I have, I'm a season ticket holder at Southampton Football Club. You too. So I was particularly interested. I was not a Portsmouth fan, surely? No. You and someone else, yeah. I was particularly interested to see that Professor David Shepherd, where's David? Down here, your Pro Vice Chancellor for Research and Enterprise, came to you from that city. I was looking forward to speaking to him tonight over dinner until I went on to read on the website his personal interests include a passion for underdog football teams that he hopes will undermine the inexorable wealth-driven success of English football. And I thought, Southampton have just spent just received over 100 million in the transport market and spent 50 million to get new players in. I thought maybe we haven't got so much in common as I thought we might have done. But actually,
I wrote that they were in League Two.
Ah, okay. So we can talk about football tonight. Okay.
Changed my mind.
I was also hoping to meet Roger Cooper, as being senior lecturer in forest products, and obviously somebody that I, as chief executive of the Structural Timber Association, would have lots in common with, you would assume, I thought it a good opportunity too good an opportunity to miss. So I looked Roger up on the website. However, when I got there, it was blank. So we've got more in common than I thought. I hope members of the audience won't mind the few jibes I've made in jest this evening. But I would like to congratulate you, everyone here, on your achievements. 25-year milestone is a big achievement, and I know, looking at your annual report this year, that there's a lot of work gone on to do that. So I congratulate you for that. I've been using a phrase as I go round at events like this, and I think it's probably relevant today in view of what I said about certainly the construction industry. And that phrase that I've been using is: the opportunity of a lifetime has to be grasped in the lifetime of the opportunity. And I would say that opportunity is now. So thank you for inviting me. Good luck for your future, and happy birthday. Thank you.